The movie begins at an opera house in Kiev. Right before the show starts, armed Ukrainian individuals invade, shooting the conductor and frightening the orchestra and audience. Meanwhile, outside, a secret SWAT team readies to enter. They use gas to subdue the people inside, allowing them to rescue a compromised spy and retrieve an unidentified object. A person known as the main character recognizes the spy using the phrase, "We exist in a hazy world," and the spy responds, "And there are no allies at twilight." After rescuing the spy, the team handles the bombs left by the gunman. The main character descends to retrieve the bombs and witnesses a strange occurrence with a bullet. An unfamiliar agent intervenes, taking the bullet seemingly in reverse. The agents then dispose of the bombs where there are no spectators, causing them to detonate. While the agents flee, the main character gets captured. The main character regains consciousness between two sets of train tracks, prodded by his captors along with another restrained agent in an attempt to extract information through torture. The main character attempts to grab a cyanide pill, but one of the captors confiscates it. The other agent on the ground retrieves his own pill, and the main character lunges for it, consuming it and appearing to succumb. Later, he wakes up in a hospital, discovering it was a mere test. The pill was fake, but sadly, all his colleagues are deceased. His superior, Victor, enlists him for a new mission within an organization named Tenet. Given the global stakes of this task, the main character meets Laura, who demonstrates the mission's intricacies. She hands him an unloaded gun and instructs him to aim it at a rock, where the bullet in the rock mysteriously returns to the gun. Laura describes that the bullet's entropy behaves strangely, moving backward through time. The main character, after further experimentation, realizes he can manipulate these inverted bullets. Those in charge have collected more inverted objects, aiming to trace the origin of these bullets before their technology can be misused, potentially allowing dangerous items like nuclear weapons to move backward through time. The main character traces the bullets to a man named Sanjay Singh and seeks Victor's help to infiltrate Sanjay's residence. A local named Neil joins the main character to assist, and they use bungee cords to access Sanjay's building at night. However, during their attempt to interrogate him, they discover that Sanjay's wife, Priya, is the one they need to speak to, and she is associated with Tenet. She communicates with the main character, revealing that the bullets originate from a Russian oligarch named Andrew Sater, who seemingly has the ability to communicate with the future. Priya instructs the main character to establish proximity with Andre and uncover the method behind his creation of inverted bullets. The main character has a meeting with Sir Michael Crosby at a restaurant. Crosby informs him about Andre's upbringing in a secret Soviet city, which faced a significant accident and later became a site for underground testing. Andre emerged from this city, amassed wealth, and eventually settled in England, where he married Catherine Barton, although they are currently separated. Crosby recommends that he builds a close relationship with Andre through Kat, and he provides the main character with a counterfeit painting, one of two, while Andre owns the genuine one. After witnessing Kat spending time with her son Max, the main character meets her and discovers that Andre is blackmailing her by threatening to reveal her involvement in a fraudulent scheme related to the painting. Their last moment of happiness was aboard Andre's yacht in Vietnam, but he gave her an ultimatum to never see Max again if she wanted to leave. Kat reacted angrily and left with Max, witnessing a woman diving off the yacht as she escaped. Shortly after, some of Andre's henchmen arrive to escort Kat away. A few remain in the kitchen as the main character attempts to follow her and engages in a fight with them. Kat witnesses the scuffle, including one henchman falling through the door, before being driven away. Kat contacts the main character again and attempts to persuade him to steal the painting back. He collaborates with Neil and a facilitator named Matir to infiltrate Andre's storage facility at Oslo airport. After Neil collects information about the location, he concludes that security will be extremely tight, so he devises a plan to crash a plane into the hangar as a diversion. With the help of a team, they execute their strategy while the main character and Neil enter the facility disguised as professionals. During the operation, a cargo jet carrying a ton of gold bars crashes, and they proceed to a room divided by a glass window with a machine on each side. The window bears bullet holes, which the main character attributes to an event that has not yet occurred. As the machine opens, two identical antagonistic figures emerge. One of them on Neil's side swiftly bypasses him, while the inverted one seems to struggle with the main character. The inverted antagonist reaches for a reversed gun, which intercepts the bullets fired through the holes. Neil comes back after concealing the other adversary, but he prevents the main character from killing the other man just as he seems about to exit through the loading door. They then position themselves safely before a recovery team enters the facility. The main character meets with Priya on a boat, where he discovers that the device is called a turnstyle, which inverts time and was manufactured in the future. She also cautions him against killing Andre until they discern the connection he has with the future. Kat is informed that the painting was obliterated, and later, she arranges a meeting with Andre. The main character joins them and others for a dinner where Andre seems to attempt to intimidate the protagonist over his alleged involvement with Kat, as he has seen them together. Nevertheless, the main character persuades Andre to arrange a boating trip for the next morning to discuss the opera. Before Kat and Andre head to meet the main character, he informs her that intuition prompted him to relocate the painting before the crash. They encounter him and engage in a brief conversation before Kat attempts to drown Andre by loosening his harness. The main character then maneuvers the boat to rescue Andre. Kat reprimands him for his actions and for deceiving him about the painting. Andre then requests to meet with the main character for recompense, and he not only urges him not to retaliate against Kat but also to assist in acquiring a case of plutonium that Andre desires. Andre describes extracting plutonium from his hometown and eliminating a colleague to prevent others from seizing better opportunities. He proceeds to his quarters with Kat and explicitly threatens her, stating that if he cannot have her, no one else can. After that, Andre steps outside as a helicopter descends with a crate filled with gold bars. The main character watches as Andre fatally assaults another man with a gold bar. He is caught and seized by Andre's henchman, who tries to expose the main character as a spy using the Twilight World phrase, but he remains firm. Subsequently, he releases the main character and agrees to assist in obtaining the plutonium from Talon. The main character regroups with Neil to carry out the heist. Meanwhile, Kat and Andre engage in another intense argument over her attempted murder of him. With a gun aimed at him, he assaults her and then takes her captive. The main character and Neil tail a truck and have their team use other vehicles' ties to secure the truck, enabling the main character to infiltrate and seize the plutonium case, only to discover that it contains a different artifact instead of plutonium. Andres then pulls up nearby, revealing he's pointing a gun at Kat's head. Then, an inverted car that seemed to crash earlier passes between them, moving in reverse. The protagonist seems to throw the case to Andre. He then attempts to reach the other car as Andre switches vehicles to rescue Kat. When the vehicles come to a stop, Andre's men open fire at the protagonist and Neil. The protagonist is seized and taken to a separate room similar to the one in the Oslo facility. Andre is with Kat, both of them inverted, and he demands to know the whereabouts of the plutonium, even injuring Kat in the stomach with an inverted bullet. The protagonist informs him that the plutonium is in the glove compartment of the inverted BMW. After Andrew departs, additional tenant agents led by Neil and Agent Eyes arrive to eliminate his men. They escort the protagonist and Kat to safety, but she is mortally wounded from the gunshot. The protagonist grows suspicious of Neil upon discovering his long-standing involvement with Tenet, suspecting he might have divulged more information to Andre than he admitted. Neil confesses that he misled about the whereabouts of the artifact. To save Kat, the protagonist decides to use the turnstile to travel back to the previous week. He enters the machine wearing a respiratory mask, since inverted lungs can't handle regular air, and vice versa, and travels to the moment of the pursuit, ending up in the BMW. However, the car explodes when Andre realizes that what he sought isn't there, causing the protagonist to nearly freeze due to the inversion effect. After recovering, he and Neil proceed with taking Kat through the turnstile to return to the week prior, back to the Oslo facility. The protagonist steps in, revealing himself as the antagonist. He engages in a fight with his inverted self, while Neil realizes that the person he pursued was actually the protagonist. Then, he reverses himself, and Kat is unharmed. The protagonist reconnects with Priya, who informs him this time that the items Andre sought are intended for an algorithm device, which he plans to use to invert the entire world. It's said that future humans intend to utilize the algorithm to counteract global warming. Priya informs the protagonist that he isn't the sole savior of the world, but he believes otherwise. He proposes to continue using Kat to approach Andre and prevent him from utilizing the algorithm. Priya sets up a meeting for the two on a ship. Kat informs the protagonist that Andre is secretly battling pancreatic cancer, and his intention is to utilize the algorithm to commit suicide, thus inverting humanity and eradicating them all, driven by the same "if I can't have you." Rationale: she fears that he'll carry out the act on the day they were on their yacht in Vietnam. The protagonists, Neil, Ives, and their team gather as they move toward the location of the dead drop where the algorithm is being assembled and will be activated, situated in the secret city Andre originated from. Ives directs his team to execute a temporary pincer movement, with half moving normally and the other half moving inverted to navigate the zone. Simultaneously, Kat inverts herself, going back to the day on the yacht to stall Andre from ending his life. As the Tenet agents traverse the zone, encountering numerous explosions, the protagonist enters the drop zone with Neil's assistance, along with a masked agent sporting a red tag resembling the one at the Opera House. However, they encounter an obstacle preventing them from reaching the algorithm, a gate. Despite appearing to take a gunshot from a henchman, the inverted agent assists the protagonist in passing through the gate to recover the algorithm. After successfully executing the plan, Kat decides she can't bear to witness Andre's contentment in thinking he's won, so she spills sunscreen and water on the deck before shooting him in the chest. Using the slippery floor, she shoves his body off the yacht, causing him to hit the railing on the way down. Kat then leaps from the yacht, revealing that her past self had witnessed her own jump. She heads off to meet with Mahir. Meanwhile, the protagonist, Neil, and Ives dismantle the algorithm, and Ives warns the two to remain hidden or face dire consequences. As Neil and Ives depart, the protagonist notices the red tag in Neil's, indicating that he was the one shot near the gate and during the Opera House mission. Ives bids the protagonist farewell, disclosing that he was the one who recruited Neil for Tenet in the future, marking the end of a friendship the protagonist hasn't yet experienced. In London, Priya and one of her gunmen surveil Kat as she goes to collect Max from school. Before they can intervene, the protagonist eliminates the gunman and sits behind Priya in her car. He reveals that he will ultimately become the founder of Tenet and that they had both been working for him all along. Seeing Priya as a liability, the protagonist eliminates her. He then observes Kat departing with Max. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.